The Square Ball Podcast.
The court is in session with Levi solicitors. TSB jury. Is that us? That's us three.
I don't normally get to use that, but it was handy, so I did.
Yeah, well, because I've fallen out with the idea of the jury now, I'll just take it away from me.
Force this upon us, and then I've given up on
I
it.
thought it might be a nice idea, but it's turned out I didn't like it anyway.
Season's nearly over, don't worry.
Yeah, true. We need to pick a villain of the week, first of all, a Ken Bates Villain of the Week award.
Well done, Tim Robinson.
Yeah, referee for should have gone to Specsavers, as the advert would say.
Yeah, he was shite, wasn't he? I don't know is there even any other candidate? I mean, we should probably address Farker. A couple of people did nominate him for the lack of subs, for the sticking with Pat.
Yeah, but Robinson's failure to do his job properly is what's caused grief in Farker's direction, because you assume we would have scored one of the 7 penalties we definitely should have had.
I must admit, in the latest issue, I made villain of the issue just shit refs generically. And I didn't really, my heart wasn't really in it, but there were a lack of villains. And I'm not really that bothered about slagging off refs usually. But then watching that, you do just think, come on, mate. Just do your job. Yeah, give the penalty. Give Leeds lots of penalties, as we should have had. And that would make things better.
And VAR as well can be an extension of this, because I hate VAR, but this has made me think that VAR would have picked it up, so it's caused internal conflict in my mind, which I don't appreciate. That's Tim Robinson's fault.
It needs taking off the table, does VAR.
Yeah.
So you can't, because otherwise you end up wishing you had it for like a minute at a time.
Yeah.
But then if we'd have just scored a random late goal, you'd be delighted we didn't have it, because you wouldn't have that bit of going, I think maybe when James did that overlapping run on the right, maybe his toe went off and I just need to wait, and I'm not going to celebrate properly now because I've got to see the replay and make sure it's all fine. I'm not going to be happy until they've kicked off and it's all fully approved. So it's better just everyone get rid of it, please.
Did you see the Aberdeen thing with VAR?
Yeah, we
just mentioned
about it with Phil. So yeah, you'll get a bit of chat on that. It's only a minor bit, but that is wild, isn't it? I mean,
just basically admitted they guessed, haven't they?
Yeah, or Aberdeen have outed the Scottish refs for admitting they've guessed. Yeah, which I've, as you said, I think on the match ball, actually, you thought the liner who was in front of the East stand.
He guessed loads of times.
Just guessing loads of stuff on Tuesday.
There was loads of times when him and the ref are looking at each other, clearly going, don't know.
And there are
just point one direction.
For me? Come on.
Well, what they do is if they're not sure, they always go with the defensive side. And I noticed them doing it a few times, just like, yeah.
And which was the game this season where the ref had obviously fucked up and then he blew up for a foul on the corner straight afterwards?
Yeah, it was fairly recent, wasn't it?
That sort of thing that refs do as well, where they're just like, I've got it in the back of my mind, I've made a bit of a mess or something here. I'm just going to try and do something now to undo that. But it is a difficult job, let's be kind. However,
but it's a difficult job done by sociopaths.
That handball was not difficult to see.
Although Rodden's head was in the way, but the liner should have picked it up. There were two of them. This is the reason why they've got more than one official. Do your jobs. Sounding like Roy Keane now. Dan James's Platform Shoes wants to nominate the championship as a concept. The fact that it's so tight at the top. Inescapable dread is what this league does best. But that said, I presume at the time that came in was before Ipswich choked and admitted they were finished as a club.
The inescapable dread is for everyone. That's the only benefit, really, that no one seems to be finding this easy anymore.
I did find it funny though last season when everyone's like, "Oh, championship's better, isn't it? We should just be in the championship." And you do forget, like, just wait till you're 42 games in, and it's just so long, and it's still going.
But if we do go up from this position, it'll feel like one of the best seasons ever because it's been so competitive all the way, and you'll retrofit your experience to match it, won't you? In the same way we have done with the Bielsa promotion, like we've almost forgotten about that hideous Luton game and the Barnsley game.
Stuart Dallas scored in that.
Yeah,
that Luton game.
Yeah, a couple of Coventry nominations. Ellis Sims gets a mention from Sarah. Mark Robbins from Luca B as well. Just a little scum bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, that's
it's about the size of it.
The Coventry Stadium people. Rachel nominates them. Photocopiers in a building society. Doesn't exactly say fun and excitement, does it?
No,
which is fair enough. Bamford gets a nomination. 7 years he's been annoying me. Enough is enough.
Jack Grealish as well for finishing Stuart Dallas's career.
It was a cynical challenge by Grealish, was that?
I thought so. Right then, it's the dickhead ref anyway, isn't it?
Yeah,
fine.
It undoubtedly is.
In terms of player of the year then, we've fed the scores into the supercomputer, and last couple of games the scores have been hovering around the the low to mid sixes. Matteo Joseph gets the highest score against Coventry, 6.25.
Dickhead ref Tim Robinson, by the way, 0.27 out of 10.
Lowest of the season, or?
Oh, I'd have to check that. It's top 3.
Right.
Or bottom 3, whichever way you want to do it. It's bad.
Yes. So your top 3 for Coventry were Joseph, Pirou and Rodon, and Sunderland was Melier at the top with 6.36. You got Rodon and Junior again. How does that leave us then, Michael, with the Player of the Year scores?
Good week for Joe Rodon, I suppose, because he's doing all right when everyone else is doing not particularly well. So, yeah, he's got a slender lead still at the top over Ampadu, and then you're down to Somerville, Gray, and Ruter. But not a good week for Pat Bamford. He's got a 3.35 and a 2.92.
Oh, poor Pat.
Which is pretty tough going, isn't it?
It was during the Hull game when he missed that absolute sitter. My dad, who's not the biggest Pat Bamford fan, it's fair to say, he stood up and just went, sub him off, get him off. And I was like, Dad, it's 20 minutes in.
I was going to say, that was early.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how you flip between the two ideas of he's quite important in terms of the pressing for this side, but at times he can be an awful striker.
Yeah, he's not had a good week.
No.
But we get to see him again on Saturday, so that's something for everyone to be pleased with.
Yeah, let's just hope he rediscovers because he's streaky, isn't he? Just have a little streak between now and the end of the season. That's all we ask. Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award then. Candidates, Stuart Dallas, congratulations.
It seems only fair, particularly in a week where it was all looking fairly thin, was the hero nomination. I mean, even you got one for something, Dan.
Me?
I can't remember what. Not giving into the darkness.
He's our Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not.
Which is...
I'm a dickhead.
Entirely on the surface for a podcast. I know watching games, you hate it as much as everyone else.
No, I definitely go through the ringer, but
you have a little word with yourself where you go, no, it's fine. But then the minute you actually see some football being played...
But I'm the same as that. I always have that duality, I think, that we all experience, which is complete and utter existential dread and terror about what's happening, but also remind myself it doesn't matter and we'll probably be all right. And even if we don't go up, we'll still be all right in the long term because players come, players go, and you can be philosophical about it. But then I go, but I like these players, so we've got to go up. And if we don't go up, it'll be a disaster and the finances are out and they look shit. So football's mad. And I think I settle somewhere in the middle. I always remain quietly optimistic. Like I hope it was reflected in what I said on the match ball. Like I felt like teams were going to drop points in the run-in, and yeah, they did us a favour, didn't they? Did Ipswich by being finished as we've established. So well done. Millwall and Norwich have got nominations, haven't they? Yeah,
I mean they're probably the fairest nominations. And Dick Van Schipbich did preemptively. This was nominate Watford for beating Ipswich. He put them in for going early on it, but they drew, which was fine. I was happy with the point.
Did you see the 50-yard speculative hoof that nearly went over the Ipswich keeper right in the last minute?
Didn't watch any of it.
No, I saw a few messages about that, but I'm still ignoring it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, given the sort of the perception of Ipswich having had a lucky season with deflections and so on and so forth, that I feel like maybe will the universe finally rebalance with that one going in? But it came close. It came close. The keeper had to sort of claw it away. But yeah, well done Millwall, well done Norwich.
Firpo gets a couple of nominations as well. Dickie Wood still playing really well. It does caveat it with, although if your best player is June, you've got a problem.
Oh, bless him.
And Wiggy nominates him for just being a fun guy. Yeah. So I think he's fair enough.
I did enjoy Firpo reposting the Dallas retirement statement, just saying he's my favourite ever footballer.
Yeah,
good on you, Junior.
It's very nice, that, wasn't it? Yeah, very. In a world of insincere social media posts, that felt very very human and very real.
When Farker has had a few villain nominations as well, only fair to say Richard G has nominated him as a hero. He says, because when I hear him talk, I think everything will be okay, and I'll stop thinking about why he waited until the 82nd minute to make his subs.
This is the thing, there's reason behind, isn't it? And you can probably understand it. You think, well, maybe we can get in there and snatch it in the last 10 minutes. But yeah, you always want the thing to happen that's not happening, don't you?
No, when we're winning, I'm quite happy for that to continue.
When it's not going your way, you just want them to do whatever it is to fix it. And therefore, everything that you're not doing becomes the answer to that problem.
You often encounter this in the ground where people just yell, change something. When things aren't going well. It's like, I do. I sort of know what you mean, but
just fix it.
Just fucking Go! Be better!
It does go back to something I heard someone shout earlier in the season where they went, just play better. Like, yeah, no, you've nailed it. Well done.
It's like my mum used to come and watch me play football when I was a kid, and I doesn't watch football at all. Probably the only full games of football she'd watched are my like abysmal under-12 performances. And you'd occasionally hear like shouts from the side, just nonsensical. Just be like, oh, go on, keep trying, and stuff like that. It's of a similar level when things are going wrong. You're just like, just don't score.
Mum, will you stop it?
He's not mine.
He's not mine. Oh, dear me. Anyone else you want to mention then? Who else has got nominations?
I mean, if we're looking purely at Player of the Year, it has actually been a good week for Chris Clarkson. He's rising up the rankings as everyone's playing badly. I don't know about anyone else.
I think we should give it Clarkson ahead of Dallas.
What play?
It's controversial.
Yeah, he's in the sort of top 1, 2, 3, about top 10-ish, isn't he? There, Chris Clarkson, with his 2 appearances and an average of 7.
You do when you're saying about things you convince yourself of. Watching the Dallas videos yesterday, I went. Part of me did go, well, we've got a cup now, haven't we? For Stewie.
Yeah, no, same.
I felt like that's why they made him retire on that day. It's like, we've got 4 games left. Go on, Dallas, make them cry, and the last will get promoted.
I was going to say, it's interesting that Phil was saying, when we speak about it, again, you'll find that one coming up in your feed, saying that there is a possibility that Farker could have said to him, we don't need this now, it's a distraction. We don't want to take the guy's focus off things. Where I actually wonder if, and of course, Stuart Dallas retiring is not welcome, but I wonder if it's a welcome distraction.
Yeah. They call it a dead cat, don't they? In
politics.
In politics. Yeah. Really get some other news out to distract from the bad form. But no, it's I feel like it left everyone feeling nostalgic and sad but warm. Yeah. As the Dallas stuff. So maybe that's gonna make us happy.
Sad but warm. What's your favourite sad but warm experience?
I'll come back to you.
There you go. So any other mentions before we award this to Stuart Dallas?
I mean, Grove gets a mention, but it's good, but not heroic.
Yep.
Fine. Moscow as well for being calm, but we're not giving it to him.
He's not here to put his case forward, so no that's not happening then.
Stewie Dallas.
Absolutely love the man.
We might still see him lift that trophy after all. You never know. He might get a go with it if we can get our act together this season.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have that party, wouldn't it? And Stu Dallas be central to it.
And also, he's retiring, so he can do what he wants afterwards. It's great. He don't have to.
I want to see him if he does get that 95th minute cameo against not Sunderland, against Southampton on the final day. I want him to swig out of a beer before he comes on.
Come on with a can and a kebab to play the last minute.
Put out his cigarette as he walks on.
God bless him. God bless Stuart Dallas, and go well. I just hope this isn't the last we see of him. And he's owed. He's like we are. We're owed the party.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like. So that's why we're going to go up, Michael. You're right, because we're owed it.
Exactly. We deserve it.
And people say we're entitled, right?
Yeah, but we do. So
no, we really
so it's
do.
not entitlement because we do deserve
Ipswich had a nice time last season.
Exactly.
Don't get greedy.
They've barely lost a game for like 2 years now.
Yeah, that's greedy. We know Leicester are cheating.
Correct.
So you don't deserve it.
And they won the title like fairly recently.
Yeah,
they won the whole thing, didn't they?
Yeah. So it's our turn.
We deserve it. Please.
Right, we'll be back with Phil on Friday, match ball Saturday. You in for that one, Rob?
No, Moscow is in for that one.
It's daylight hours, isn't it?
Yeah, so I can just go drown my sorrows in the pub afterwards.
More amenable. Right, we'll catch you for all those. See you in a bit.
The Square Ball Podcast.